Namaste. Hello. Okay. Today's Progu Valley bodily, I guess. It's really long. This might be the only thing I might do. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Namaste. Hariha Saha Na Babatu Saha Now Punakutu Saha Viriam Karababahai Tejasabi Navati Tamasatu Ma Vidibishabahai Shanatiha Shanatiha Shanatiha. Let's see. I'm trying to work with the camera. I don't want the mic to block my face all the way. I don't mind it partially blocking me. Okay, that's it. Okay, cool. Progulvai Barunuiha Barunam Pitara Mupasasara Atihi Bhagavo Brahmati Tasma etat Provancham Ananam Pranam Chakushuha Shrotram Mano Pachamiti Tam Hovancham Yato Va Imani Putani Jayanante Yena Jatani Jivananti Yat Prayanantiya Pisambishananti Tad Vijijinya Sasava Tad Brahmati Sa Tapotapyata Sa Tapasatapatava Ananam Brahmati Vyajanat Ananad Tyava Karvimani Putani Jayanante Ananana Jatani Jivananti Ananam Prayanantiya Pisambishananti Iti Tad Vijinyaya Punareva Parunam Pitaramupasasara Atihi Bhagavo Brahmati Tam Hovancham Tapasan Brahma Vijijinya Sasava Tapo Brahmati San Tapotapyata San Tapasatapadavan Prano Brahmati Vyajanat Prano de Tyeva Karvimani Putani Jayanante Pranuena Jatani Jivananti Pranum Prayanantiya Pisambishananti Iti Tad Vijinyaya Punareva Parunam Pitaramupasasara Atihi Bhagavo Brahmati tam hoban cham tapasan brahma pichichinya sasva tapo brahmati sa tapo tapyatam sa tapas tapatavan mano brahmati vyajanat manaso hyeva karvimani bhutani jayanante manasa jatani jivananti manaha varayananti apisambishananti iti tadvijinyayam punareva varunam pitaramupasasaram atihi bhagavo brahmati tam hovacham tapasa brahma vijinya sasva tapo brahmati sa tapo tapyatam sa tapasa tapatavan vijinya sasva vijinyanam brahmati vyajanat vijinyanadatyeva karvimani bhutani jayanante vijinyanena jatani jivananti vijinyanam prayananti apisambishananti iti tadvijinyanam punareva varunam pitaramupasasaram atihi bhagavo brahmati tam hovacham tapasa brahma vijinya sasva tapo brahmati sa tapo tapyatam sa tapasa tapatavan anando brahmati vyajanat anandadatyeva karvimani bhutani jayanante anandena jatani jivananti anandam prayananti apisambishananti iti 사이슈어 발가비 바르노이 비디양 바람에 벼마는 브라티시 트위땅 상야 에밤 베다 브라티티슈 타티 아는 나바 나는 나도 바바티 마하는 바바티 브라자야 바슈필브라하마 발자 세나 바슈필브라하마 발자 세나 마하는 길디양 마하는 길디양 오씨 아는 남나 니는 디양아트 다드 브라타무 브라노 방 아는 나무 샤리라마는 나다무 브라노에 샤리람 브라티시 트위타무 샤리레 브라노흐 브라티시 트위타흐 다데따따는 나마는 네 브라티시 트위타무 다데따다는 나 다데따다는 나마는 네 브라티시 트위타무 Sorry, I said it twice. 상야 에따다는 나마는 네 브라티시 트위타무 브라티시 트위탐 베다 브라티티시 타티 아는 나바 나는 나도 바바티 마하는 바바티 브라자양 바슈필브라흐마 발자사네 바슈필브라흐마 발자세나 마하는 길디양 아는 남나 파리자쿠 슈이탕 다드 브라타무 아뽀빠 아는 나무 지오티라는 나다무 아부소 지오티허 브라티시 트위타무 지오티슈여 바허 브라티시 트위타허 다데따난 나마는네 다데따다는 나마는네 Pratishtvitam Sanya etadanumanane Pratishtvitam Veda Pratishtati Ananabananado Pavati Nananado Ananabananado Pavati. Sorry twice. Mahanan Pavati Prajayam Pashupil Brahma Valchasena Mahanan Kirtiyan Ananam Bahu Gulvidang Tad Pratam Urtivi Bang Ananam Agashonanadah Purtivyam Agashah Pratishtvidah Akasha Purtivi Pratishtvitam Tadatananamanane Pratishtvitam Sanya etadanumanane Pratishtvitam Veda Pratishtati Anananam Ananabananado Pavati Mahanan Pavati Prajayam Pashupil Brahma Valchasena Mahanan Kirtiyan. Okay, last chapter. Final chapter, the longest one. Na Kamchana Pasatel Pratyan Chakushvita Tad Pratama Tasamad Yayan Kayan Cha Pitayan Bahuvananam Prapnuyat Aratyasama Ananamitya Chakushote Etadavai Mukhatonanam Yadata Radhatama Mukhatosama Ananam Radhyate Etadavai Matyatonanam Radhatama Matyatosama Ananam Radhyate Etadavai Anantatonanam Radhatama Anantatosama Ananam Radhyate Ya Ebam Peda Kushwema iti Vanchi Yoga Kushwema iti Prano Panayoh Kaimeti Hasatayoh Katiriti Padayoh Bimukutiriti Payao Iti Manushviha Samajinyaha Atadaiviha Duraputiriti Purushato Palamiti Vidyuti Yashan iti Pashushua Jyotiriti Nakushotareshu Prajantira Murtama Nananda Iti Upasate Saivamitya Ganshe Tata Pratishtvati Upasita Tata Pratishtvati Upasita Pratishtvavan Pavati Tanamaha Iti Upasita Mahanan Pavati Tanamana iti upasita Manabana Pavati Tananama iti upasita Namyanan Tasamai Kamaha Tad Brahmati Upasita Brahmavana Pavati Tad Brahmanoha Parimara iti upasita Parienam Muriyananti Dubishwanantah Sapatanaha Bari Yapurian Pranturbian San Yashichan Yam Purushwe Yashichan San Baditye San Ekahe San Ya Ebambit Asama Lokat Pratia Etamanana Mayama Temana Mupasam Kramia Etam Prano Mayama Temana Mupasam Kramia Etam Manomayama Temana Mupasam Kramia Etam Pichinyana Mayama Temana Mupasam Kramia Etamanananda Mayama Temana Mupasam Kramia Imamul Lokana Gamanani Gamarupyanu Sam. Cut it off. They friggin' cut the snake off into two. The next line. The first half is like twice as long as the second half of the snake. Now they cut it into two snakes. Human. Thanks a lot, human. Thank you. Namaste. In King Yahusha's name, that's Jesus' real name. Thank you very much. Starting from here. Imamul Lokana Kamanani Kamarupianu Samcharana Kamarupianu Samcharana Etat Sama Kayana Step Hauvu Okay, I've never seen that before. Hauvu Okay, that's enough. This is a wording question. This is that's a half wu. That's a wu. Hauvu. And you're supposed to say it 3 times. I said it like 7 times now. Hauvu. Okay. Ahamanana Mahamanana Ahamanana Dohamanana Dah Aham Shulokakuradaham Shulokakuradaham Wait, really? Okay, sorry. When you recite Sanskrit so much, sometimes it tries to talk to you. It tries to talk to you. Sanskrit. I mean, if you've been reciting it long enough. So I'm gonna start from here again because I apparently didn't do it right. Ahamanana Mahamanana Ahamanana Doham. Oh, okay. Do. Ahamanana Dohanana Hanamana Dohamanana. Ooh, this is a really difficult word now because of the half wu. So wu, the sound wu like shwa. It's actually really prevalent in Sanskrit. I don't know, would you call that French sounding? But it's very European sound. It's not Asian for sure. Ahanamanana dohamanana dah. Ahanamanana dohamanana dah. Aham shloka kuradaham. Shloka kurata. Ahamasati Pratamajan Brata Usya Pulvam Vevepyo Amorotasya Naupahi Yo Ma Dadati San Ideva Ma Uvahu Ahamanana Madanata Ma Udmi. Okay. Ahamanana Danam Ahamanana da. Ahamanana madananda ma udmi. Almost. Ahamanana maman. Ahamanana maman. Ahamanana madananda ma udmi. One more. Ahamanana madananda ma udmi. aham pishivam Puvanamapya Pavaumi Puvanamapya Pavaum Suvarna Jyotiha Ya Evam Veda Ityuparishvat Ityupanishvat Saha Nabavatu Saha Now Punakatu Saha Biryam Karabhavahai Tejasvi Navati Tamasutu Moa Vidubashwama Vidubashwahab Vidubashwabahai Vidubashwabahai Shanatiha 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 Hariha That's it. I want to check if I did some of the things wrong. Apparently this Upanishad, this particular chapter uses a lot of irregular character, like bu, half wu, wu. I don't say that often. Bu, mu, bu, bu, mu. And there's also wu, wung, mung. It's weird. Yeah, I don't see anything else with that irregular character. That's really irregular. There's u, and then there's woo, and then there's u. Woo, mo, 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 whoa, whoa, whoa. Ooh, ooh, and yeah, okay, so I did it right. I'm gonna read the translation and take a break and then go from there. Krogu Valley, Barley, Hari together may he protect us. Together may he possess us. Together may we make unto us force and virility. Make our reading be full of light and power. May we never hate. Peace, peace, peace. Krugu, Varuna's son, came unto his father, Varuna, and said, Lord, teach me the eternal. And his father declared it unto him thus, food and prana and eye and ear and mind, even these. Verily he said unto him, seek thou to know that from which these creatures are born, whereby being born they live, and to which they go hence and enter again, for that is the eternal. And Purugu concentrated himself in thought, and by the ascesis of his brooding, he knew food for the eternal. For from food alone it appeareth. Are these creatures born, and being born they live by food, and into food they depart and enter again. And when he had known this, he came again to Varuna, his father, and said, Lord, teach me the eternal. And his father said to him, by ascesis do thou seek to know the eternal, for concentration in thought is the eternal. He concentrated himself in thought, and by the energy of his brooding, he knew prana for the eternal. For from prana alone it appeareth. Are these creatures born, and being born they live by prana, and to prana they go hence and return. And when he had known this, he came again to Varuna his father, and said, Lord, teach me the eternal. But his father said to him, by ascesis do thou seek to know the eternal, for ascesis in thought is the eternal. He concentrated himself in thought, and by the energy of his brooding, he knew mind for the eternal. For from mind alone it appeareth. Are these creatures born, and being born they live by mind, and to mind they go hence and return. And when he had known this, he came again to Varuna, his father, and said, Lord, teach me the eternal. But his father said to him, By ascesis do thou seek to know the eternal, for concentration of force is the eternal. He concentrated himself in thought, and by the energy of his brooding, he knew knowledge for the eternal. For from knowledge alone, it appeareth, are these creatures born and being born that live by knowledge, and to knowledge they go hence and return. And when he had known this, he came again to Varuna, his father, and said, Lord, teach me the eternal. But his father said to him, By ascesis do thou seek to know the eternal, for concentration of force is eternal. He concentrated himself in thought, and by the energy of his brooding, he knew bliss for the eternal. For from bliss alone it appeareth, are these creatures born, and being born they live by bliss, and to bliss they go hence and return. This is the lore of Phrugu, the lore of Varuna, which hath its firm base in the highest heaven. Who knoweth, getteth his firm base, he becometh the master of food, and its eater, great in progeny, great in cattle, great in the splendor of holiness, great in glory. Thou shalt not blame food, for that is thy commandment unto labor. Verily, prana also is food, and the body is the eater. The body is established upon prana, and prana is established upon the body. Therefore, food here is established upon food. He who knoweth this food that is established upon food, getteth his firm base. He becometh the master of food, and is the eater, great in progeny, great in cattle, great in the radiance of holiness, great in glory. Thou shalt not reject food, for that too is the vow of thy labor. Verily, the waters also are food, and the bright fire is the eater. The fire is established upon the waters, and the waters are established upon the fires. Here too is food established upon food. He who knoweth this food that is established upon food getteth his firm base, he becometh the master of food, and its eater, great in progeny, great in cattle, great in the radiance of holiness, great in glory. Thou shalt increase and amass food, for that too is thy commandment unto labor. Verily, earth also is food, and ether is the eater. Ether is established upon earth, and earth is established upon ether. Here too is food established upon food. He who knoweth this food that is established upon food getteth his firm base. He becometh the master of food, and its eater, great in progeny, great in cattle, great in the radiance of holiness, great in glory. Thou shalt not reject any man in thy habitation, for that too is thy commandment unto labor. Therefore, in whatsoever sort do thou get thee great store of food. They say unto the stranger in their dwelling, Arise, the food is ready. Was the food made ready at the beginning? To him also is food made ready in the beginning. Was the food made ready in the middle? To him also is food made ready in the middle. Was the food made ready at the end and last? To him also is the food made ready at the end and last, who hath this knowledge. As prosperity in speech, as getting and having in the main breath, and the nether, as work in the hands, as movement in the feet, as discharge in the anus, these are the cognitions in the human. Then in the divine, as satisfaction in the rain, as force in the lightning, as splendor in the beasts, as brightness in the constellations, as procreation and bliss and death conquered in the organ of pleasure, as the all in ether. Pursue thou him as the firm foundation of things, and thou shalt get thee firm foundation. Pursue him as Mahas. Thou shalt become mighty. Pursue him as mind. Thou shalt become full of mind. Pursue him as adoration. Thy desires shall bow down before thee. Pursue him as the eternal. Thou shalt become full of the Spirit. Pursue him as the destruction of the eternal that rangeth abroad. Thou shalt see thy rivals, and thy haters perish thick around thee, and thy kin who love thee not. The Spirit who is here in man and the Spirit who is there in the Son, lo, it is one Spirit, and there is no other. He who hath this knowledge, when he goeth from this world, having passed to the self which is of food, having passed to the self which is of prana, having passed to the self which is of mind, having passed to the self which is of knowledge, having passed to the self which is of bliss. Lo, he rangeth about the world, and eateth what he will, and taketh what shape he will, and ever he singeth the mighty Sama. Ho, 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 I am food. I am food. I am food. I am the eater of food. I am the eater. I am the eater. I am he who maketh scripture. I am he who maketh. I am he who maketh. I am the firstborn of the law. Before the gods were, I am, ye at the very heart of immortality. He who giveth me, verily he preserveth me. For I, being food, eat him that eateth. I have conquered the whole world and possessed it. My light is as the sun in its glory. Thus he singeth, who hath the knowledge. This verily is Upanishad, the secret of the Veda. Together may he protect us. Together may he possess us. Together may we make unto us strength and virility. May our study be full of light and power. May we never hate. Peace. 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 Hari. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break here. Let me see what I wanna do next. Okay, nothing here I wanna do. So that was just 30 minutes long. Wow, I swear it was gonna take 1 hour. I did it pretty fast then. I don't wanna do Bhagavad Gita. I'm gonna do Raghuveda. Today might be a really short study. I might do another chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. That might be the only other thing I could think of. But let me take a break here and clean up my scene. That's what they call it when you're a creator. Scene changes. What scene? You mean my monitor? Yeah, they call it a scene. It's like I've seen scenes, like real movie scenes. You call this a scene. Okay. Screen. I'll call it screens. Different screens. I wouldn't call it a scene. Sorry. Like, hey man, don't talk down to us. I'm sorry. I talk down to myself, so it's really pervasive to other people. I'm working on it, so you don't hear too much from that side. It's gonna be gone one day too. Then I'll be shameless. I don't know if that's a good thing. Completely shameless at the age. I hope I turn 65 pretty soon, because when you turn like 65 or 70 and become shameless, they praise you for it. But unless you're that's the world we live in. You're trying to try to I'm trying not live. I'm trying not live in this modern friggin' society of us. Anyway, so Raghaveda next. I don't want to do anything else. There is a book called Buddhacharitam, and you know what I could do is I could cheat. I could just read the Sanskrit. Should I do that now? That's gonna take up the entire because it's really long. First chapter is like 108 shlokas, and it's not just normal shloka. I'll show you. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it because it's a good book. You know, it's like what some people say: when you're gonna have pizza, you gotta have pizza. Even if you're like a billionaire, you gotta have pizza. You gotta have pizza. Nothing else satisfies. You know. Caviar. I have a $200 caviar instead of a six. How much is a slice of pizza now? $7. How much is a pie? 90. $90 for a pie. I hope not. It's probably like $40, 40, 50, 40, 40. With tip and stuff, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, the first chapter is like 94 shlokas. I'm not ready for this. This is like an all day long, not all day long. This is a two-hour long assignment. And the Sanskrit and this Buddhacharitam, I'll show you. All right, here we go. So this is Buddhacharitam. And this is the first chapter. I'm gonna make it as big as I can because that's how I like to read it. Look at this. It's really like if you these are really compounded words. Like look at that. And this came out 2,500 years ago, and it's to me it's considered ultra modern Sanskrit. There's no Sanskrit that came out after this. Sanskrit kind of died away after this book. And this book even ends at the chapter, what is it, chapter 11? Chapter 14. It ends at chapter 14. The entire book is like chapter 40 something. How many books are there? Let me just check. How many chapters are there in Buddhacharitam? So Buddhacharitam means the life of Buddha. Buddhacharitam. 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 Let me see. How do you say it? Buddhacharitam. 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 Why would you say Dhamma? Now why not Da? Because Dhamma is more Mangalam sounding than Sanskrit. Anyway. Same in Devanagari characters. What do you mean? Oh, so people have been really making different, not versions, but different digital printouts of Buddhacharitam. Because it is a very, very smart book. It's like if you master the, what 14 chapters you have, even that should make your Sanskrit improve like mother effer, whatever. Sorry, I'm cursing while talking about Sanskrit. Dropping the F bomb while talking about holy things. My only excuse is that if the ancients were here, would they even know what the F word is? Would they even die on the spot because it's so bad? Would they say it's just that's a real curse? I don't know how they're gonna. Okay, so now I don't want to use this digital copy. I have the one from, there's a website called sanskritdocuments.org. If you could read Devanagari, that's the website I recommend you to go, especially if you understand, the meaning Sanskrit meanings. I could recite in the Aryan accent. That's my talent. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing Buddhacharitam pretty soon. Okay, let's do like a trial. Let's do a trial of Buddhacharitam. What happened? Okay, let's trial 1, 2, 3, 4, and so 1, 2, 3, 4. So which one should I use? Buddhacharitam should go here with the Upanishads and everything. Okay, I'll put it here. And text Buddhacharitam. Let me just work on this really quick. I swear it was called Buddhacharitam. Now they changed it. Or am I having like one of those ramen? No, they call it Buddhacharitam. So this is tam, not da. Okay, well, I think they got it right. The actual Buddha. Is it the actual Buddha or the life of the Buddha? Sorry, just making Sanskrit. What am I trying to say? Should be New York Times font. If in doubt one font, which font to use, I always go to Times New York. Times New Roman. Okay, so here we go. Meow, 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 meow. Oops, I killed it. I mean, I made it this up here. How do I make it way up here? I'll make it again. I have to make it again. 부다차리땀. Times New Roman. Okay, so I wanna just try to read one chapter and see if it. Why is it cut off? That's messed up. Okay, that's better. Smaller. And maybe. How was that? Buddhacharitam. So yeah, let me do like a trial reading, just to show you how, different the Sanskrit is. This is the ultra modern, most modern Sanskrit you'll ever see. Only came out 2,500 years ago. So all the other Sanskrit books came out 5,000 years ago or older. So, words are different, like more compounded. They're more modern in Sanskrit standards, Hope that makes sense. Buddhacharitam. Namasutta. Bhagavata prasutih. Shriyam. Paraltyam. Vidatadvitatharajit Damo Irasyanan Pipu Tapano Prut Nudanan Nidakam Jitacharu Janandrama Sa Panandiatelhanan Niha Panandiatelhanan Niha Panandiatelhanan Niha Yasya Nopama Asid Vishalonana Tasanu Lakushmiya Asid Vishalonana Tasanu Lakushmiya Asid Vishalonana Tasanu Asid Vishalonana Tasanu Lakushmiya Payoda Pangan Kuteva Payoda Pangan Kutev Payoda Pangan Kuteva Paritapa Shivam Udagratishnuyam Udagratishnuyam Kaganuevaga Tvam Puram Mahalshweha Kapilasya Pasatu. Yeah, I'm having trouble already. Sitonanate Neva Nayana Hurutva Kailasa Shailasya Yada Prashopam Prama Dupetan Bahadamum Bhuvan Samampavanam Van Sapali Chakara Ratna Prapodupad Ratna Prapodutha Ratna Prapodupasini Yatra Lepetamo Na Dariduriyamiva Vakashamu Paraltya Pauraiha Saba Satoshot Kurtasmitevasti Kurtasmitevati Raja Lakshmiha Yadvedika Toranosim Hakail Ratnail Datanam Yadvedika Toranosim Hakail Yadu Vedika Dwarano Simha Kalnoi Ratanal Datanam Pratibeshama Chopama Jagatia Durashatu Veva Samanamatiat Sipaltam Svage Hai Mita Eva Chakre Rama Mukhenanduna Pariputa Padamana Yatra Payatopia Bimania Panuhu Sanantang Payoga Divam Pari Pashitum Pashichat Samudra Pimuk Pashichat Samudra Pimukah Pratasate Shakya Jitanam Yashasam Janena Trashatavan Tapavam Kamitoyaminandraha Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Kami Bodayat Chat Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu. Yeah, it's not easy. Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Mat Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Kami Bodaya Chatta Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pa Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Kami Bodayat Chatta. I might give up. I didn't plan to, I didn't plan to do this. I did not plan to do this. Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Kami Bodayat Chatta. This is only Shloka 7, there's 98 Shlokas or something like that. And from the beginning, it's got me. I'm struggling already. Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Kami Bodayat Chatta. Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Kami Bodayat Chatta. Did I do that? I messed up 1 or 2 syllables. Well, subtly, not grossly. I mean, it should be passable, but I don't want to pass. Iti Tvaja Ishichan Rujalat Pata Kairian Marshtu Masyang Kami Bodayat Chatta. Kurutvapi Matrao Kumuda Praha Simanandoha Kumuda Praha Saminandoha Karairiadra Yasatai Sauvalna Halmieshu Katai Kapadai Divan Katai Kapadai Divan Saroja Diutima Lalamambe Mahi Buratam Multani Gurata Pishwekahe Shudutodano Nama Nurupol Kabanan Tuhe Atian Shayo Pan Supporta Pudari Kam Puratira Jam Tadalanchakara Purata Paral Tiopi Sapakusho Eva Pravarata Tadanopi Madanupetahe Ishopi Nityam Samadura Shutui Patahe Samia Sva Pavopi Puratu Pratapahe. Pujana yasya bihatan he patananto devi panandra he samarang ganwe shu Udebanan tamukata prakasara Udebanan tamukata prakarai he shiropi pakatieva Pushapan jali piha puranwe muha Ati purata padavatu ya shaturu namaho paraganiva Tigma panuha Udiotayama sa janam samananta daishana meow meow Udiotayama sa janam samananta bra bra samananta bra I can't say bra after dot bra Samananta pradashayana nashiraya nuyamalgana Taimal takamal vishoyam Vitoniam na Veshama chakramurasya nitya Visipaltamana Ivatu grasidteha Sugochare Diputatana Bapuvuha Udara Sangankiaiha Sachivaira Sangankiaiha Grata Grapavaha Sa Uda Grapavaha Shashi Yatan Paira Grata Nyatan Paiha Shakyanandra Rajaha Sutaram Raraja Dasyanti Chopin Bisrutati Chopin Dasyanti Chopin Bisrutati Chopin Ravi Prabheva Satatamaha Ravi Prabheva Satatamaha Prabhava Samagra Devi Nibahagra Devi Bapuva Maya Pagateva Maya Prajasu Mateva Hitaparapuratatang Kurang Jane Pakutiribanu Buratatang Lakshmi Ribati Shakule Kurata Pa Jagatya Pu Dutamadevata Yang Samam Sadam Sutri Charitam Tamisram Tatampi Tam Prapya Purusham Vireje Na Hinenduleka Mupagamiya Shupam Nagatam Tatam Sanantama Sattvametti Ati Nendriyana Tamani Tushikuhoyam Mayam Jano Yujayitum Na Shakyaha Itivan Sukashimam Prakaratim Bihaya Taimeno Sakushad Vihitan Sivamultiha Jiutotan Kaya Tutushuitat Triloki Mudiota Yananuta Nutamabodhi Satavaha Triloki Mudiota Yananutamama Triloki Mudiota Yananuta Nutita. That's what I'm having trouble with. Nutamabo Bodhi Satavaha Triloki Mudiota Yananutamadu Tamabodhi Satavaha. The word must be special. It's got Bodhi Satava in it. It's gonna cure me if I say it right subtly a little bit. Nano cure me. Triloki mudyotayanan nutatama. Triloki mudyotayanan nutatama bodhiti. Triloki mudyotayanan nutatama bodhiti. Triloki mudyotayanan nutatama bodhiti. Alright, I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm already at Shloka 19. And this is gonna be the entire study. The last study. Jutotan kaya tutushwitan triloki mudyotan triloki mudyotayanan nutatama bodhi. Triloki mudyotayanan nutatama bodhi sattva he. Triloki mudyotayanan nutatama bodhi sattva. Vivesha tasya he samarata eva kukusho nananda guhayamiba nagaraja he. Truttava himadri tavalam guru shadrubi shonam dana tiva sitamukam dviradasya rupam Shuduthodanasya pasutati patel mahishuyo pasutati patel mahishuyo kukushuim viveshan san jagadevya sanakushoyaya rakusha vitanam prati lokapala lokaikana tasya Divo pijaga muho Sarvatra Panantopi hi Janandra pada Pajananti Kaila Sagirao Visheshwamo Mayapi tam Kukushigatam Datana Vidyudibilasam Jaladabalivam Dana pivaishoiha parito jananam daridriyatapam shamayanchakara santaha purajana devi kadachidatha lumumbinim Kajama numate rajinyah samampu totamado hada samampu totamado hada shankama lamambama nayah poshipa para valambinim devyah kukushuim bitidyashu bodhisattvam biniriyao Tataha Purasanan Nashichan Vapuva Pushuya Sitasyan Shichan Devian Prata Samsakurataya Panchevat Kuto Panchevat Sutto Panchevat Sutto Lokahitaya Jajinye Nivedanam Chaiva Niramayam Cha Prantaha Payodadivam Digma panuh 사무드 파바는 소비 자 마드르 구구슈에흐 스푸라는 마유 칼비하다는 스푸라는 마유 칼비하다는 타카라이 시작가라 lokam kanakabada tam jatamatramata kanchana yupagauram pritah sasranayanoh shanakaira gurunuat manandara poshepani karai saha tasya multani kananil male ja vinipeta Duramam Buddhare, Vinipeta Duramam Buddhare, Surapratanaiha, Paritha, I want to say it again. Vinipeta Duramam Buddhare. Okay. I don't usually point because it distracts me. So I'm starting from where the arrow is. This is weird for me to point out where I am. Surapratanaiha paritaryamano teham shujalaira nuranjayam satan teham shujalaira nuranjayam teham shujalaira nuranjayam satan teham shujalaira nuranjayam satan teham shujalaira nuran Laira Nuran, Laira Nuran, Teham Shujan Laira, Teham Shujan Laira Nuran Jayam Sutata, Teham Shujan Laira Nuran Jayam Sutan, Teham Shujan Laira Nuran Jayam Sutan, Sanantya Praja Lopadi Ham Sanani Bishutam. Sanantya praja lopari samni Sanantya praja lopari sanani bishatam nabodavaram nabodurajam vichigayam lakushamyam uroria taulvasya Uroria talvasya Burtoshijang Hasatana Mananta Turindrapati Masya Multanaha Kakushwi Batashijaiba Pujam Sadeshat Tatabitam Dasya Bapuva Janama Grameno Galpada Piniha Surataha Galpada Piniha Surataha Sanan Bapao Kataha Kadiba Yoniajata Garepeshiva Nekeshiva Garepeshiva Nekeshiva Pavitatama Yah Samuprajanana Sushuvetna Mutah Dipatya Ba Ja Tairiano ja yo radaja balo rabil pumi mi ba batil no rabil pumi mi ba batil no tatati di putopi diri kushuyomano jahara jakushum shri yatan chachangan kah sa hi sivagatra parapayo jubalanantia sivagatra parapayoju Sivagatra parapayoju jivalanantiyan Dipa prapam Pasakarabanan mumoshwa Pasakarabanan mumoshwa Mahai hajamambuna Mahai hajamambuna dacharu baino Mahai hajamambuna dacharu no jaru baino. Have medicine. I might need to get more medicine soon. Mahai hajamambuna dacharu baino. Mahai hajamambuna dat meow. Such a hard word. Mahai hajamambuna dacharu baino. Jaru baino. Mahai hajamambuna dacharu baino. Bidyota yamasa. Dishashechan salvaha. Anakulani abuja samudugatani. Anakulani abuja samudugatani. Dishipeshovanan yata vikramanui. Nataiva tiranui padani sabata shuitara sadurasho jagama. 보타얌 자또스미 자가드 티땅알 타마는 띠앙알 자가드 티땅알 타마는 띠앙알 따토드 빠뜨뜨리얌 따토드 빠뜨뜨리얌 마메띠 자돌디샴 심하가뜰 빌로키야 바누임 자 파비알 타까리 무바자 파비알 타까리 무바자 카트 프라수루테 짜는드라 말이 있지 슈르프레 짜는드라 말이 있지 슈르프 짜는드라 말이 있지 슈프레 드베 sorry 바리타레 시시로슈너비리에 샤리라 사오키알 타마누트 따라시야 니페타툴 물타니 다시야 사오미에 श्रीमद् 비타니 श्रीमद् 비타네 가나꼬즈 지발랑은게 가 this crazy words 가나꼬즈 지발랑은게 바이두리아 반데 샤야나무 야드 가오라 바드 간짜나 바드마 하스타 야쿠슈어 티파 허 사문파리바리아 따스투허 마야타누자시야 디바우가사허 케 야시야 프라파바트 프라노타이 허 시로피허 아타라야는 바는다라마타 파트람 보타야 제푸허 mic check okay 타라야는 바는다라마타 파트람 보타야 제푸허 파라마시쇼시짱 마호라간 탈마비셰슈어 달슈어 드 부드 테슈바티 테슈 탈마비셰셔 달슈어 드 부드 테슈바티 테슈 그르타 티카라흐 야마비아자는 파크티베시슈터 네트랑 파크티비시슈터 네트랑 마는다라 보시파이허 사마바키 람시짱 사마바키 람시짱 타타가토트바다 구누에나 두시드허 슈드타 티바사 시짱 비슈드타 사드트바허 대바 나나는 둘비가떼피 라게 마그나시아 두허케 자가토 히타야 야스미는 프라수테 기리라자길라 바타하타 나오리바 푸시짜짜라 사짜는다나 조트팔라파드마갈파 파파타 버르셔토이가가노다 나프라트 버르셔토일가가노다 나프라트 바탄 바부흐 스파이샤수카 마노진영 디비아니 바삼시아바빠타야는 따흐 바삼시아바빠타야는 따흐 수리아흐 사 에바피아티캄 자카셰 자지발라 사오미알지라니리토그니흐 사오미알지라니리토그니흐 프라구드타레 자바사타 프라데셰 구파흐 스바얌 브라두라 푸트시타문부흐 아는따흐 보라누여 가타비스마야니 야스미느 그리야스틸타 이바 브라짜꾸루흐 달말티 풀푸 따가노이 실장 DVI से दादा शनाल tham palama pa puraha kautu halenai vacha pada paishija prapuja yamasa 사가는 타보시바이흐 보시바두마흐 세밤 구수맘 부꾸르루흐 사시라노드라 미타르 디크수가는 티 사시라노드라 미타 디크수가는 사시라노드라 미타 디크수가는 티 수삼은 프라마드 워 Yes, this book is something else. And it's not the Sanskrit is, and this book is like something else. Man, what the heck is that? Muduguru. That's all I could think of. Muduguru. So this is my test of Sanskrit. Susamam Pramadaguru. Chapter 1, verse 44. Guru, Muduguru is my guess. Muduguru. 수삼은 마드 느르 not good thing I look. Yeah, so it's I was wrong. It's not good. It's 느르. Okay. 수삼은 okay. Here we go. 수삼은 마드 느르 수삼은 마드 느르 가바 수삼은 마드 느르 가바 수삼은 마드 느르 가바 투박이 땀 보장은 가부르다 비히다 뜻다바 땀은 그바체트 그바노트 두리아 무르드 당은가 기달비 노 묵구는다 무라자 디디 피시장 오케이 그바체트 그바노트 두리아 무르드 당은가 기달 그바노트 두리아 무르 당은가 기달비 노 묵구는다 무라자 디피즈자 messed it up. Right, I'm gonna take a break. 45. I'm at 45. Shloka 45. It ends at 94, so I'm almost halfway. I'm taking a break. I'm gonna take my medicine. I need to get more medicine, so be it. I need to finish this chapter. Something about this chapter is compelling me. I have to finish it. It's like it's conducive to my healing. So I'll be back. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so I'll start from the second verse of from Shloka 45. From the beginning of Shloka 45. Kavachita Kavanota Turia Mudu Kavanota Turia Murudada Kavanota Turia Murudag Nunga Kavanota Turia Murudangangagi Taibi No Mukunanda Muraja Di Bishacham Sibinuam Jalata Kunandala Pu Shuitanam Virajitam Chopaya Pasha Chatasatata Yadra Jasha Satram Purugurangangira Pa Chakaratul Bamchakara Brushui Chakaratul Bamchakara Chakaratul Bamchakara Chakaratul Bamchakara Chakaratul Bamchakara Brushui Down Tayohe Sutao Cha 사살자투스 따뜻가레나 사살자투스 따뜻가레나 슈크라시자 브로하스파티시자 사라스바타시자 비자가다 나시담 베담 부나리암 다드르슐나 볼밤 비아사스타 타이남 바후타 자카라 나얌 바시슈터흐 그르타바나 샤크티흐 바르미기나 다시자 사살자 바디암 자가라는 타 야는나 디아바노 마하슈이흐 기치트시담 야츠차 자카라 나트리흐 바시자 드다다 트레야 브러슈일 자가다. This is like intellectual work. Intellectual labor. 야쯔짱 드비자트밤 슈치코 나 레페 따드가 타나흐 수누라바빠 라자느 벨람 사무드레 사가라시자 나트레 네크시바 까보 얌 프라타맘 바바는 투흐 아자리아감 요가비테오 드비자나프라 드비자나 마프라 부다마니알 자나코 자가마 키아다니 깔마누이 자 야니 샤오라이흐 슈라다야스테시바발라 바푸부흐 다스마트 브라마놈 나바요 나가라흐 가세체트 그바치츠 트라이슈투여 무바이티 ultra modern Sanskrit. It's only 2,500 years, so it's the youngest Sanskrit the world will ever see. There will be no other Sanskrit. I don't know. Maybe if the world changes, when the world changes, I don't know what's gonna happen. When there's heaven on earth, when the earth becomes heaven, then maybe it's possible. But no, this is it. 가시제트 그바치제 트레슈트 가시제트 그바치제 트레슈트 가시제트 그바치제 트레슈트 트라이 오케이 가시제트 그바치제 트레슈트요 무바이티 가시제트 그바치제 트레슈트요 무바이티 로켓 가시제트 그바치제 트라이슈 가시제트 그바치제 트라이슈트요 가체체트 그바치체 트라이슈투여 무바이티 로켓 라지냐 무로슈이놈 자 히타니 따니 그르타니 무바이라 그르타니 볼바이흐 에밤 느르바흐 브라티아이 딸드 비자이스 따이라 시자 시타 시자 비아 피나는 디 따시자 에밤 느르바흐 브라티아이 딸드 비자이스 따이라 시자 무 Pratyayita Dvijayasita Ira Shiva Sita Shija Pya Pinanandita Shija. Almost. Pratyayita Dvijayasita Ira Shiva Pratyayita Dvijayasita Ira Shiva Sita Shija Pya Pinanandi Shija. Almost. Evam Nirupaha Pratyayita Dvijayasita Ira Shiva Sita Shija Pya Pinanandita Shija. Pratyayita Dvijayasita Ira Shiva Sita Shija Pya Pinanandita. Has to do with neural pathways. Hasn't been created yet. Evam Nirupaha Pratyayita Dvijayasita Ira Shiva Sita Shija Pya Pinanandita Shija. Shangankamani Shutwam Bijahau Manasitaha Paraharshameva Tikama Ruroha Paraharshameva Tikama Ruroha. Purita Shecham Depio Devija Satadame Piaha Satakara Pulvam Pradadao Tanani Puyadayam Pumipatiria Tokuto Pumipatiria Tokuto Ya Jaja Ya Jujara Ya Juja Ya Jujara Metya Panani Jati Atau Nimitata Ishijam Tapobala Chicha Tajajanama Nanta Karasya Buddhatuvan Shakyo Shivarasya Layanam Shakya Shivarasya Layama Jakama Shakya. Is it Shakya or Shakya? I'm gonna look this up. This is the morning question. 49. Yeah, this is very difficult. I'm at shloka 54. I got 40 more to go. It's not too bad. Could have been worse. 54, Shakyo. Shakya. Okay, so it's not Shakyo, Shakya. I think I said Shakya second time. Shakya Shivarasya Layama Jagama Sadhatalmata Daishwa Dasito Mahashwiha Tam Brahmavidu Brahmavidam Jivalanandam Bahumya Shriya Jaiva Tapaha Shriya Jam Rajinyo Gurulgaura Vasat Kriya Pyam Praveshayama Sa Narenandra Sadhuma Sa Partivanantaha Purasanani Kaisham Kumarajanama Gata Haishog Begamu Kumarajanama Gata Haishog Begamu Vivesha Tiro Palasanjinya Yaiva Tapaha Parakaisho Chicha Charashiraya Chicha. Tato Nuropasatam Munima Sanasatam Padial Kiapulvam Pratipujya Samyak Nimanandrayama Sa Yatopacharam Puram Pasishirtam Sa Ivanantidevaha Tanyosumyanugrahyamidam kulam me yanamam Didrukushul Bhagavanupetaha Jinya Piatam Kim Karavanui Saumia Shishuyosumi Vishiramam Pitu Mahasiti Vishiramam Pitu Mahasiti. Evam Nirupenopani Manantaritaha Nirupenopani Manantaritaha 사는 살베노 바베나 모니리아 타바트 사비스마요트 풀라비샬라 드레셔토에 가면 피라티라누이 No words more than 10 syllables, please. Or you'll reduce a pig into a cat, a little kitten. 사비스마요트 풀라비샬라 드레셔토에 가면 피라티라누이 사비스마요트 풀라비샬라 드레셔토에 가면 피라티라누이 바짬시유 바짬 마하트마니 드바이유 파파는 나메타트 브리야티타오 디아기니 탈마카메 사테트바는 바야지냐 나바요 누루파 사테트바는 바야지냐 나바요 누루파 스니그타 야데밤 마이 데 마티흐 시아트 에타체참 다디에남 느르팔셔야스테 탈메노 소쿠시마누이 타나니아파시암 니티암 디아자는 또 비티바드 마푸부스타포 피라투요 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 12 syllables. I said no more than 10, please. 비티바드 마푸부스타포 피라투요 비파바일다리드라흐 브라요자남 야트투 마모파야네 타르메 셔르누 브리티무페히 자트바무 디비야 마야 디비야 파테 슈르타 마그보타야 자타스타나스 자냐야스타베티 자타스타나야스타베티 슈르트바 sorry 슈르트바 바짜스타츠차 마나셰차 요크트바 지냐트바 니미트 타이셰차 타토스 미우 페타흐 타토스 미우 페타흐 디드르쿠쇼야 샤키아쿠라트바자시야 샤크라트바자시에바 사무쯔쯔리타시야 에티에타데밤 바짜남 니샤미야 브라하셔 사문 프라는 따가딜 내는드라흐 브라하셔 사문 프라는 따가딜 니nen드리야 미야오 브라하셔 사문 프라는 따가딜 내는드레 하 미야오 내는드라 미야 브라하셔 사문 프라는 따가딜 내는드라흐 나레는드라흐 not 가딜 나레는드라흐 브라하셔 사문 프라는 따가딜 나레는드라흐 okay 브라하셔 사문 프라 okay I should say the whole verse now 이티야타데밤 바짜남 니샤미야 Brahasha samam prananta katil narenandraha. Brahasha samam prananta katil narenandraha. Brahasha samam prananta katil narenandraha. Adaya thatriyang kagatam kumaram sanandarshayamasa tapothanaya jaka chakrang kapadam satatang mahashvija lavanadathang gulipanuipadam 솔노 프로밤 솔노 프루밤 바라노 바세티 코샴 사비스마얌 라자수탐 다다이샤 타트리양은가 삼비실더 마베쿠슈요 타트리양은가 삼비실더 마베쿠슈요 짜이남 데비양은가 삼비실더 미바그닉 수누무 데비양은가 삼비실더 미바그니 수누무 바푸바 바쿠시마는 따리바 지다 슈를 니시바시앙 바쿠시마는 따리바 지다 슈를 니시바시앙. I'm doing like Bruce Lee verbal acrobatic crap. That's what I'm doing. It's like Bruce Lee verbal acrobatic stuff is what I'm doing. Reciting Sanskrit, I mean. Especially this fucking Buddhacharitam. This is like Bruce Lee verbal shit, man. I'm sorry. I cursed. Sorry, I cursed in the Sanskrit session. That's 10,000 years of something for me. Namaste. 타트리양은가 삼비실더 마베쿠슈요 짜이남 데비양은가 삼비실더 미바그니 수누무 바푸바 바쿠시마는 따리반지 따슈를나 바시바시야 바쿠시마는 따리반지 따슈를 니시바시야 짜이밤 드리리보는 무코푸트 드르셔드방시담 드바슈루 파리 플루타쿠섬 드바슈루 파리 플루타쿠섬 스네하트투 부트라시아 느르파시짜까문페 사가드가담 바시바카쇼야카는터허 바프라치짱짱 프란잘리라나땅은가허 스바를 빠는 따람 야시야 바뿔무네허 시아드 바흐바드 푸탐 시아드 바흐바드 시아드 바흐바드 푸탐 시아드 바드 바흐 시아드 바흐바후 푸탐 시아드 바흐바후 푸탐 다시 야시야 짜나마 디푸탐 야시오드담am 바비나 마드타 잘탐 땀 브레쿠슈여 가스마드다바 티라 바시바흐 아비 스티라 율파야 파가바네. This is really hard. 아비 스티라 율파가바네 구마라흐 까찌찌는 나 쇼카야 마마 브라수타흐 라브타흐 까탄체트 살릴란 잘릴메 살릴란 잘릴메 나 카레비맘 바투무파이티 까라흐 아피아구쇼얌메 야샤소 니타남 까체찌드 트루보 메꾸라 하스타 사라흐 I didn't finish the shloka. Okay. Api prayasyami sukham paratara suputapi patre nimishoika chakushuho putre nimishoika chakushuho suputapi kachachinana me jatama pulalameva jatama pulalameva gula prabhalam parishosha pagi Kushuipram Vipo Puruhi Na Mesati Shanantiha Sneham Sute Vesit Betasi Hi Manantavanam Ityagata Vega Manishita Buddhatva Narenandram. What the heck is that asterisk? This is not Sanskrit, human. What is wrong with you, human? Alright, I have to mark this. It's a misprint. That's all I could think of. There's nothing. Nothing in this document is pertaining to that asterisk. Let me do a search. Yeah, I'm moving on. Okay. Thanks a lot, human. Etyagata vega manishirta buddhatya buddhatva narenandram sa muniba pashwe ma punamatiste nurupa kachidanya niha samshayam dadia davocha masami Nasyanyathatvam prati vikriya me sivam panchanam tu prati viklabosmi kalo hi me yatumayam cha jato jati kushayasya kulapasya bodhita. Vihaya Rajyam Vishayashivana Satasati Vrahi Vishayashivana Satasati Vrahi Prayatanaira Tigamia Tigamia Tatatavam Jagatyayam Mohatamo Nihanandum Jivalishiyoti Jnanamayo hi Suryaha Tuakarno Madhavya Tivikirno Penaj Jarata Rangangana Marano Gurabegat. If you've been following along with me, do you see how hard like this is compared to all the other books I've read, including Srimad Bhagavatam? This Srimad Bhagavatam came out before this book. 2,500 years before this book. This came out 2,500 years after that book, in the year 500 BC, something like that. And after 500 BC, Sanskrit started to disappear from the planet. It started to disappear. So, if there were, 80% of the people speaking Sanskrit on the planet at the time, I don't know how many, but say like 70%, it started to dwindle to like 30%, 20%, something like that, like drastically after this book came out. And this book, the Sanskrit of this book, abruptly just disappears after, verse 11 or 12 of whatever, of chapter 14. That's the only Sanskrit you have for this Buddhacharitam. you don't have the other 20 chapters in Sanskrit that are lost. And it signifies in this reality that Sanskrit is starting to disappear. That's what this book is trying to tell you as well. There's no way you're going to recover the Sanskrit words, unless by some sheer miracle God came and gave us the Sanskrit version of the entire book. We only have 14 chapters out of like 40 something odd chapters of the book of the Buddhacharitam. Look at that word. I can't. Here we go. Duha karnavada vyatiki divikilno. Duha karnavada vyatiki divi. Duha karnavada vyatiki divikilno. They're not just long words. It's more difficult than all the other books. Duha karnavada vyatiki penaj jara tarangana mare nodgrabegat. So they're compounding like different words from different thought processes. Yeah, that's it. Duha karnavada vyatiki. Duha karnavada vyatiki divi. Duha karnavada vyatiki penaj jara tarangana mare nodgrabegat. Udadara ishyatiyaraya muhyamana maltatam. Udadara ishyatiyaya muhyamana maltatam. Udadara ishyatiyaya muhyamana maltatam. Jagaja jnana mahaplavena. Prajinyam bhuvegam satirashila vapram. Samatishidam vratachakrabhakam yasyotatamam dharmanadim pravaratam darashanalditah pasyati jivalokah duhakalditepyo Vishayavurtepyah samsarakanantara pathasatitepyah samsarakanantara pathasatitepyah samsarakanantara pathasati samsarakanantara pathasati tasati samsarakanantara pathasatinit samsarakanantara pathasati tepyah samsarakanantara pathasati tepyah samsarakanantara pathasati tepyah akyasyati yeshu vimokushamayagam maga pranashtuepya ivatavagepyah vidahya manaya janaya loke ragaguninayam vishayanan tanena prahalada madhasyati taima burashatuya mahamekha ivatapanante Darashanoy galam mohatamah kapatam tuvaram prajanam apayanam mehetuh prajanam apayana hetuh vipata yishuyatiyaya mutatameva vipata yishuyatiyaya mutatamena sadadhamata duyena Durasadena Savai Mohapashaih Pariveshatuitasya Duhaka Piputasya Dirashrayasya Lokasya Samambutya Ja Dharmarajah Garushuyate Manantana Mokushomechuh Manantana Mokushomechuh Tanama Gurutang Shokamimam Pratitvam 따뜻하오미야 샤오지에 히 마누쇼요 로케 모헤나 번 까마수칼마다 드번 요 나이시 투이감 슈로슈여띠 나시야 탈마무 프라셔터시야 다스마ጭ짱 구너다또 메 티아나니 라프트방 비아끄르딸 타타이방 탈마시야 다시야 샤라바노 다함 히 마니에 비파트팀 드리디 바피 바사무 home stretch. 13 more shlokas, which is nothing compared to what I've done. I've done 82 so far. 13 is nothing. 이띠 슈루땅을 타흐 사수 흐르뜨 사다라 사스 디아크드방 사수 흐르뜨 사다라스 디아크드방 비쇼담 무무데 나레는 드라흐 에반비토얌 다나요 마메띠 메네 사히 드바마피 사라마트담 아리에노 마게노 뚜 야시아티티 지는다비테얌 호르다얌 짜까라 나 칼을 바사오 나 뿌리야 탈마 바꾸쇼허 사는 따나나샷 뚜뚜 파얌 다달샤 아타 무니라시토 니베디야 따뜻밤 수타니야탐 수타비클라바야 라지니에 사바후 마타무디 구슈여마너루바흐 바바나 파테나 야타가탐 자가마 그르타마티라누자 수탐 자 들으셨더바 무니바짜나 시라바누에 비 떠는 마땅 짱 마후비타마누까문 빠양 사투허 뿌리야 수타바드비니 요자얀 짜까라 뿌리야 수타바드비니 요자나 뿌리야 수타바드비니 요자얀 짜까라 보이슈 나라파티라피 부토라자는 마투시투어 비셔야 마타니 비무치야 마는 타나니 고라사드로 샤마치 까라디아타 바트 뿌리야타나냠 고라사드로 샤마치 까라디아타 바트 뿌리야타나얌 타나야시야 자타칼마 다샤수 파리노 테시바흐수 파리노 테시바하흐수 자이밤 파라야타마나흐 파라야 무다 파리타흐 Sorry, too loud. 아쿠루타 자파호마 망은갈라디아흐 파라마타마흐 수타시야 데바테지아흐 아피자 샤타사하스라 폴너 상은키아흐 스티라발라바트타나야흐 살마셔릉은기흐 아누파가타자라흐 바야스비닐가흐 스바야마다다트 수타보르드 타예 스바야마다다트 수타보르드 타예 드비자피아흐 마후비타비쇼 야스타토 야타테마 스바흐르다야 토쇼카리흐 그리양 비타야 구노바티 디바세 시베 무훌테 마티마카론 무디타흐 마티마카론은 무디타흐 보라베셰 How many? All right. Now it's real home stretch. Okay. Deviradharadhamayi mato. Deviradharadhamayi mato. Mahalham. Sita sita pushipa puratam. Pranui pradipam. Manui pradipam. Sorry. Apajata. Shivikam. Shivaya Devi Danayavati Pranui Patiya Devata Pyahu Puramata Purataha Puraveshya Patanim Sithavira Jana Nugatama Patyanatham Sithavari Jana Nugatama Patyanatham Nurapatirapi Jagama Paura Sagan Kail Diva Mamai Mamarai Makabani Val Tiamanahu Paura Sagan Kail Diva Mamai Marai Paura Sagan Kail Diva Mamarai Makabani Val Tiamanahu Pavanamata Bigahia Shakya Rajo Pava Iva Shanumukha Janamana Pratitaha Idamidamiti Harshapurna Bhakaturo Harshapurno Bhakat no Harshapurna Bhakaturo Bahovita Pushatui Yasha Sakaram Bahovita Pushatui Yasha Sakaram Yatatata Iti Narapati Putra Janama Buddhatiyan. I'm tired now. Okay, last shlok, final shloka. I'm tired. I'm giving up. Just I'm not gonna do the last one. No, that's really that'll be like the pinnacle of stupidity if somebody did that. You know, read this is 94 shlokas. It finishes at 93. He gives up, or makes jokes like me. Iti Narapati Putra Janama Buddhatiyan Sajanapadam Kapila Huvayam Puram Tat Tanada Puramiva Pusiro Vakilnam Tanada Puramiva Saro Tanada Puramiva Pusaropi Ba Tanada Puramiva Pusaro Vakilnam Muditama Punan Nala Kubara Parasutam Muditama Punan Nala Kubara Parasutam Iti Shri Buddhacharita Mahakarye Bhagavata Prasutil Nama Pratamaha Saigaha I got beat up. Namaste intellectually by Sanskrit. Translation coming up. Now, which translation do I want to read? I like this one better. It's written by E.H. Johnston, and he's he's smart. Or I should say he was smart. I think what year is this? 1936. Yeah, he's been gone for almost a century, I guess. 70 years. Let me see here. Wonder where does it start? I have a physical book of this too, and it's such a good book. If you wanna get it, it's called what is it called? Why Acts of the Buddha. Acts of the Buddha by Johnston. Especially if you've heard my Sanskrit, reading the translation will complete the knowledge, and you will get somewhere. It'll be like elevating your soul in a way that you can't elevate otherwise. You cannot elevate otherwise. The Acts of the Buddha, Canto 1, Birth of the Holy One. There was a king of the unconquerable Shakyas, Shuddhodana by name, of the race of Ikshvaku, and the peer of Ikshvaku in might. Pure he was in conduct, and beloved of his people as the moon in autumn. That counterpart of Inandra had a queen, a very Shachi, whose splendor corresponded to his might. In beauty like Padma, in steadfastness like the earth, she was called Mahamaya, from her resemblance to the incomparable Maya. This ruler of men, dallying with his queen, enjoyed, as it were, the sovereign glory of Vaishravanu. Then, without defilement, she received the fruit of the womb, just as knowledge united with mental concentration bears fruit. Before she conceived, she saw in her sleep a white lord of elephants entering her body, yet she felt thereby no pain. Maya, the queen of that godlike king, bore in her womb the glory of her race, and being in her purity free from weariness, sorrow, and delusion, she set her mind on the sin-free forest. In her longing for the lonely forest, as suited to trance, she asked the king to go and stay in the grove called Lumbini, which was gay like the garden of Jaitararata with trees of every kind. The Lord of the earth, full of wonder and joy, recognized that her disposition was noble from her possession of piety, and left the fortunate city in order to gratify her, not for a pleasure excursion. In that glorious grove the queen perceived that the time of her delivery was at hand, and amidst the welcome of thousands of waiting women, proceeded to a couch overspread with an awning. Then, as soon as Bushuyu became propitious, from the side of the queen, who was hallowed by her vows, a son was born for the weal of the world, without her suffering either pain or illness. As was the birth of Aurva from the thigh, of Brutu from the hen, of Mantatru, the peer of Inandra, from the head, of Kakushivat from the armpit, on such wise was his birth. When in due course he had issued from the womb, he appeared as if he had descended from the sky, for he did not come into the world through the portal of life, and since he had purified his being through many eons, he was born not ignorant, but fully conscious. With his luster and steadfastness, he appeared like the young sun come down to earth, and despite this his dazzling brilliance, when gazed at, he held all eyes like the moon. For with the glowing radiance of his limbs he eclipsed like the sun the radiance of the lamps, and beauteous with the hue of precious gold, he illumined all the quarters of space. He who was like the constellation of the seven seers walked the 7 steps with such firmness that the feet were lifted up unwavering and straight, and that the strides were long and set down firmly. And looking to the 4 quarters with the bearing of a lion, he uttered a speech proclaiming the truth. I am born for enlightenment, for the good of the world. This is my last birth in this world of phenomena. 2 streams of water, clear as the rays of the moon and having the virtue, one of heat and one of cold, poured forth from the sky and fell on his gracious head to give his body refreshment by their contact. He lay on a couch with a gorgeous canopy, feet of beryl and framework glistening with gold, and round him the Yakusho lords stood reverently on guard with golden lotuses in their hands. The dwellers in heaven, themselves remaining invisible, held up in the sky a white umbrella, and, bowing their heads in obeisance before his majesty, muttered the highest blessings that he might obtain enlightenment. The mighty snakes in their thirst for the most excellent law fanned him, and with eyes shining with devotion, bestrewed him with manandara flowers, offices they had performed for the Buddhas of the past. And gladdened by the virtue of his birth in this fashion, the Shuddhatipasa deities rejoiced in their pure natures, though passion was extinct in them, for the sake of the world, drowned in suffering. At his birth, the earth, nailed down as it was with the king of mountains, trembled like a ship struck by the wind, and from the cloudless sky there fell a shower perfumed with sandalwood and bringing blue and pink lotuses. Delightful breezes blew, soft to the touch, and wafting down heavenly raiment. The very sun shone more brightly, and the fire, unstirred, blazed with gracious flames. In the northeastern corner of the royal quarters, a well of clear water appeared of itself, at which the household in amazement carried out their rites as at a holy bathing place. And troops of heavenly beings, petitioners for the law, thronged the grove to wait on him, and in their wonderment they cast flowers from the trees, though out of season. At that time the noxious creatures consorted together, and did each other no hurt. Whatever diseases there were among mankind were cured too without effort. The birds and deer did not call aloud, and the rivers flowed with calm waters. The quarters became clear, and the sky shone cloudless. The drums of the gods resounded in the air. When the Guru was born for the salvation of all creatures, the world became exceeding peaceful, as though, being in a state of disorder, it had obtained a ruler. Kamadeva alone did not rejoice. On seeing the miraculous birth of his son, the king, steadfast though he was much disturbed, and from his affection a double stream of tears flowed, born of delight and apprehension. The queen was filled with fear and joy, like a stream of hot and cold water mixed, because the power of her son was other than human on the one hand, and because she had a mother's natural weakness on the other. The pious old women failed in penetration, seeing only the reason for alarm. So purifying themselves and performing luck-bringing rites, they prayed to the gods for good fortune. When the Brahmans, famed for conduct, learning, and eloquence, had heard about these omens and considered them, then with beaming faces full of wonder and exultation, they said to the king, who was both fearful and joyful, "On earth men desire for their peace no excellence at all other than a sun. As this lamp of yours is the lamp of your race, rejoice and make a feast today. Therefore, in all steadfastness, renounce anxiety and be merry, for your race will certainly flourish. He who has been born here as your son is the leader for those who are overcome by the suffering of the world. According to the signs found on this excellent one, the brilliance of gold and the radiance of a lamp, he will certainly become either an enlightened seer or a Chakravartin monarch on earth among men. Should he desire earthly sovereignty, then by his might and law he will stand on earth at the head of all kings, as the light of the sun at the head of all constellations. Should he desire salvation and go to the forest, then by his knowledge and truth he will overcome all creeds and stand on the earth like Meru, king of mountains among all the heights. As pure gold is the best of metals, Meru of mountains, the ocean of waters, the moon of planets, and the sun of fires, so your son is the best of men. His eyes gaze unwinkingly and are limpid and wide, blazing and yet mild, steady and with very long black eyelashes. How can he not have eyes that see everything? Then the king said to the twice-born, "What is the cause that these excellent characteristics should be seen, as you say, in him, when they were not seen in previous great-souled kings?" Then the Brahman said to him, "In respect of the wisdom, renowned deeds and fame of kings, there is no question of former and latter. And, since in the nature of things there is a cause here for the effect, listen to our parallels thereto. The science of royal policy, which neither of those seers, Phrugu and Angangiras, the founders of families, made, was created, sire, in the course of time by their sons, Shukra and Buddhacharitam. The son of Sarasvati promulgated again the lost Veda, which the men of old had not seen, and Vyasa arranged it in many sections, which Vashishtha, for lack of capacity, had not done. And Varamiki was the first to create the verse, which the great seer Jyavana did not put together, and the science of healing, which Atri did not discover, was later proclaimed by the seer Atreya. And the Brahmanhood, which Kushika did not win, was obtained by the son of Gadin, O king. And Sagara set a limit for the ocean, which the previous descendants of Ikshvaku had not fixed. Janaka reached the position attained by none other of instructing the twice-born in the methods of yoga. And Shura and his kin were incapable of the famous deeds of Shaori. Therefore, neither age nor family decides. Shaori. Therefore, neither age nor family decides. Anyone may attain preeminence anywhere in the world. For in the case of the kings and seers, the sons accomplished the various deeds their ancestors failed to do. Thus was the king cheered and congratulated by the trustworthy twice-born, and discharging his mind of unwelcome suspicions, he rose to a still higher degree of joy. And in his gratification he gave with full courtesy rich gifts to the best of the twice-born, wishing that his son might become lord of the earth, as prophesied, and that he should not retire to the forest before reaching old age. Then by reason of the signs and through the power of his austerities, the great seer Asita learned of the birth of him who was to put an end to birth, and came to the palace of the Shakya king, thirsting for the holy law. He was the chief among the knowers of the Absolute, and shone with the majesty of priestly power and with the majesty of asceticism. Accordingly, the king's spiritual director brought him into the regal palace with reverence and honor. He entered the precincts of the royal women's dwelling, and the rush of joy that he felt was occasioned only by the birth of the prince. For from the intensity of his austerities and the support afforded by old age, he remained otherwise unmoved, deeming himself to be, as it were, in a forest. Then the king rightly honored the sage when seated with water for the feet and the proper offerings, and then addressed him with due courtesy as Antideva of old did Vashishtha. Fortunate am I, in honor of this house, that your holiness should deign to visit me. Be pleased to command what I should do, O benign one. I am your disciple, and you should show confidence in me. When the sage was invited in this befitting fashion by the king, with all cordiality, his large eyes opened wide in admiration, and he spoke these profound and solemn words. It indeed accords with your great soul, your hospitality, your generosity, your piety, that you should thus show to me a kindly disposition, so worthy of your nature, family, wisdom, and age. And this is the course by which those royal seers, acquiring wealth by the subtle law, ever continued giving it away according to rule, thus being rich in austerities and poor in worldly goods. But hear the reason for my visit, and be rejoiced. In the path of the sun, I heard a divine voice saying, "To thee is born a son for enlightenment." As soon as I heard the voice, I put my mind into trance and understood the matter through the signs. Then I came here to see the lofty banner of the Shakya race uplifted like the banner of Inindra. When the king heard him speak thus, his bearing was disordered with delight, and he took the prince as he lay on his nurse's lap, and showed him to the ascetic. Then the great seer wonderingly beheld the prince, the soles of his feet marked with the wheel, the fingers and toes joined by a web, the circle of hair growing between his eyebrows, and the testicles withdrawn like an elephant's. And when he saw him resting on the nurse's lap, like the son of Agni on Devi's lap, the tears flickered on his eyelashes, and sighing, he looked up to heaven. But when the king saw Asita's eyes swimming with tears, he trembled from affection for his son, and sobbing with his throat choked with weeping, he clasped his hands and bowed his body, asking him, "Why are you, who are so steadfast, tearful on seeing him, who differs little in form from the gods, whose brilliant birth has been attended by many miracles, and whose future lot you say is to be the highest? Will the prince be long-lived, Holy One? Surely he is not born for my sorrow. Shall the 2 handfuls of water have been obtained by me with such difficulty only for death to come and drink them up? Is the treasure of my fame inexhaustible? Is the dominion to last forever in the hands of my family? Shall I win bliss in the next world, even in the sleep of death, having one eye open in the shape of my son? Is this young shoot of my family just sprung up, fated to wither without flowering? Tell me quickly, Lord, I am all uneasy, for you know the love of fathers for their sons." The seer understood how the king was troubled by the thought of misfortune, and said, "Let not your mind, O king, be disturbed. What I have said is not open to doubt. My agitation is not over aught untoward for him, but I am distressed for my own disappointment, for my time to depart has come, just when he is born who shall understand the means so hard to find of destroying birth. For he will give up the kingdom in his indifference to worldly pleasures, and through bitter struggles grasping the final truth, he will shine forth as a son of knowledge in the world to dispel the darkness of delusion. With the mighty boat of knowledge, he will bring the world which is being carried away in affliction up from the ocean of suffering, which is overspread with the foam of disease, and which has old age for its waves, and death for its fearsome flood. The world of the living, oppressed with the thirst of desires, will drink the flowing stream of his most excellent law, which is cooled by concentration of thought, and has mystic wisdom for the current of its water, firm discipline for its banks, and vows for its Brahmani ducts. For to those who, finding themselves on the desert tracks of the cycle of existence, are harassed by suffering and obstructed by the objects of sense, he will proclaim the way of salvation, as to travelers who have lost their road. Like a mighty cloud with its rain at the close of the summer heat, he will give relief with the rain of the law to men burnt up in the world with the fire of the passions, whose fuel is the objects of sense. With the most excellent irresistible key of the good law, he will throw open for the escape of living beings the door whose bolt is the thirst of desire, and whose leaves are delusion and the darkness of ignorance. And, as king of the law, he will reach enlightenment and release from prison the world which is entangled in its own snares of delusion, and which is overwhelmed by suffering and destitute of refuge. Therefore be not grieved for him. In this living world, that man is to be deplored, who through delusion by reason of the sensual pleasures, or through intoxication of mind, refuses to hear his, the final law. Therefore, though I have obtained the trances, I have not won through to the goal. I have not won through to the goal, in that I have fallen short of this merit. For since I shall not hear his law, I hold even rebirth in the triple heaven to be a disaster. Hearing this explanation, the king with his queen and friends was quit of his dejection and rejoiced, for he deemed it to be his own good fortune that his son should be such. But his heart busied itself anxiously with the thought that his son would follow the path of the sages. It was most certainly not that he was opposed to the side of the law, but that he saw the danger arising from failure of issue. Then when the seer Asita had made known the truth about his son to the king, who was troubled about him, he departed as he had come by the path of the wind, while they looked up at him with all reverence. Then the saint, who had attained right knowledge, saw his younger sister's son, and straightly charged him in his compassion, as if he were his own dear son, to listen to the words of the sage and to follow his teaching. The king too, delighted at the birth of a son, threw open all the prisons in his realm, and in his affection for his son, caused the birth ceremony to be properly performed for him in the manner that befitted his family. And when the 10 days were fulfilled, in the piety of his mind and the excess of his joy, he offered for the supreme welfare of his son sacrifices to the gods, together with incantations, oblations, and other auspicious rites. Moreover, for the prosperity of his son, he bestowed of himself cows full of milk in the prime of their age, with gilded horns and healthy sturdy calves, to the full number of 100,000 on the twice-born. Thereon, self-controlled, he prescribed the performance of ceremonies directed to many ends which delighted his heart, and when a fortunate auspicious day had been determined, he gladly decided to enter the city. Then the queen, taking the babe, did obeisance to the gods, and entered for good fortune a costly ivory litter, bedecked with white sitaposhipa flowers, and lit by precious stones. What is this word? The king then made the queen, attended by aged women and accompanied by her child, enter the city in front of him, and himself also advanced, saluted by hosts of citizens, like Inindra, when on entering heaven he was saluted by the immortals. The Shakya king thereon proceeded into his palace in good heart, like Pava on the birth of his six-faced son, and with countenance beaming with joy, directed every arrangement to be made which would lead to many kinds of prosperity and renown. Thus the town named after Kapila rejoiced, with its surrounding territory, at the prosperous birth of the prince, just as the town of the wealth giver, which was thronged with Apsarasis, rejoiced at the birth of Nalakubara. That's it. Thank you very much. Oof. So this translation is missing 4 verses. I'm gonna try to see where it's missing. Right, so this this translation has all the words. So let me see if it fits. If it fits, then I could Trapna Kubara. All right, so somehow I'm missing 5 verses from this version, Johnston's version. I need to find them. Where can I find it? Where did it go wrong? Man, human don't know how to keep stuff together. Why is it shaking? Oops. Alright, where did I go wrong? Okay. So, there was a king. It starts with that. And this version starts with something else. It's unfortunate. Humans don't know how to keep stuff together in time. They're just designed like that. I can't really get mad at them. So it starts from here, I think. So what I'm gonna do is I'll read the first, just so that I have, because I read a lot of more Sanskrit than the translation now. So hopefully this will complete what I've missed. That Arhat is here saluted, who has no counterpart, who, as bestowing the supreme happiness, surpasses the Creator, who, as driving away darkness, vanquishes the sun, and as dispelling all burning heat, surpasses the beautiful moon. There was, I think this is where it starts. There was a city in the dwelling place of the great Saint Kapila, having its sides surrounded by the beauty of a lofty broad tableland and as by a line of clouds, and itself with its high soaring palaces immersed in the sky. By its pure and lofty system of government, it, as it were, stole the splendor of the clouds of Mount Kailasa, and while it bore the clouds which came to it through a mistake, it fulfilled the imagination which had led them thither. In that city, shining with the splendor of gems, darkness like poverty could find no place. Prosperity shone resplendently, as with the smile from the joy of dwelling with such surpassing excellent citizens. With its festive arbors, its arched gateways and pinnacles, it was radiant with jewels in every dwelling, and unable to find any other rival in the world. It could only feel emulation with its own houses. There the sun, even though he had retired, was unable to scorn the moon-like faces of its women, which put the lotuses to shame, and as if from the access of passion, hurried towards the western ocean to enter the water. I think this is it. I caught up, I think. Wait, I think this is where that Shloka 9. Yeah, okay, so I gotta read up to Shloka 9. There the sun, although he had retired, was unable to scorn the moonlike faces of its women, which put the lotuses to shame, and as if from the excess of passion, hurried towards the western ocean to enter the water. Yonder Inandra has been utterly annihilated by the people when they saw the glories acquired by the Shakyas. Uttering the scoff, the city strove by its banners with gay fluttering streamers to wipe away every mark of his existence. After mocking the water lilies, even at night, by the moonbeams which rest on its silver pavilions, by day it assumed the brightness of the lotuses, through the sunbeams falling on its golden palaces. Okay, that's it. And let me see if the original Sanskrit gives me an idea. Okay, so it does. So 89 is to according to a version which have the first English translation follows the second version because the first, wow, look at that, huh? So yeah, it's missing a lot of verses. Basically, that's what it means. It's too bad. Does that mean I should read up to 8? You know what? I'll read up to 28 from that other version because the translation doesn't match up, and that's not good. After mocking the world, a king by name Shuddhotana, by the kindred of the sun, anointed to stand at the head of Earth's monarchs, ruling over the city, adorned it as a bee inmate, a full-blown lotus. The very best of kings with his train ever near him, intent on liberality yet devoid of pride, a sovereign yet with an ever equal eye thrown on all, of gentle nature and yet with wide-reaching majesty, falling smitten by his arm in the arena of battle, the lordly elephants of his enemies bow prostrate, with their heads pouring forth quantities of pearls, as if they were offering handfuls of flowers in homage. Having dispersed his enemies by his preeminent majesty, as the sun disperses the gloom of an eclipse, he illuminated his people on every side, showing them the paths which they were to follow. Duty, wealth, and pleasure, under his guidance, assumed mutually each other's object, but not the outward dress. Yet, as if they still vied together, they shone all the brighter in the glorious career of their triumphant success. He, the monarch of the Shakyas, of native preeminence, but whose actual preeminence was brought about by his numberless counselors of exalted wisdom, shone forth all the more gloriously, like the moon amidst the stars, shining with the light of like its own. Sorry, I'm trying to get through it as quickly as I can. I'm tired. To him there was a queen named Maya, as if free from all deceit, an effulgence proceeding from his effulgence, like the splendor of the sun when it is free from all the influence of darkness, a chief queen in the united assembly of all queens. I mean, because I'm doing double the work, because human don't know how to translate correctly. Like a mother to her subjects, intent on their welfare, devoted to all worthy of reverence, like devotion itself, shining on our Lord's family, like the goddess of prosperity. She was the most eminent of goddesses to the whole world. I mean, like I read 89 shlokas in translation. Now I gotta read more because human didn't do their job. You know, verily the life of women is always darkness. Yet when it encountered her, it shone brilliantly. Thus the night does not retain its gloom when it meets with the radiant crescent of the moon. Thus people, being hard to be roused to wonder in their souls, cannot be influenced by me if I come to them as beyond their senses. So saying, Duty abandoned her own subtle nature and made her form visible. Stupid human. Don't know how to translate correctly. They don't know what they're translating sometimes. Maybe they translate anywhere. This is gonna make them understand, right? Then falling from the host of beings in the Dushita heaven and illumining the three worlds, the most excellent of Bodhisattva suddenly entered at a thought into her womb, like the Naga king entering the cave of Nananda. Assuming the form of a huge elephant, white like Himalaya, armed with 6 tusks, with his face perfumed with flowing ichor, he entered the womb of the queen of King Shuddhodana to destroy the evils of the world. Shuddhodana, to destroy the evils of the world. The guardians of the world hasten from heaven to mount watch over the world's one true ruler. Thus the moonbeams, though they shine everywhere, are especially bright on Mount Kailasa. Maya, also holding him in her womb like a line of clouds holding a lightning flash, will leave the people around her from the sufferings of poverty by raining showers of gifts. Now, how many more do I have to do? Stupid human, man. It's making me double the work. okay, shloka 28. Okay, I'm at 20, what, 23, 24, 22. Maya also, holding him in her womb, like a line of clouds holding a lightning flash, will lead the people around her from the sufferings and poverty, like raining showers of gifts. Then one day, by the king's permission, the queen, having a great longing in her mind, went with the inmates of the Geneseum into the garden Lumumbini. As the queen supported herself by a bowl which hung laden with the weight of flowers, like Bodhisattva, suddenly came forth, cleaving open her womb. At that time, the constellation Boshuyo was auspicious, and from the side of the queen, who was purified by her vow, her son was born for the welfare of the world, without pain and without illness. Like the sun bursting from a cloud in the morning, so he too, when he was born from his mother's womb, made the world bright like gold, bursting forth with his rays, which dispelled the darkness. As soon as he was born, the thousand-eyed, well-pleased took him gently, bright like a golden pillar, and two pure streams of water fell down from heaven upon his head with piles of manandara flowers, carried about by the chief suras, and delighting them with the rays that stream from his body, his surpassed in beauty, the new moon as it rests on a mass of evening clouds. And now the rest should match up with what I read. Um, Sorry for rushing this translation part because the human didn't do their job, so I was forced to do more work basically. That sucks. All right, so I'll read it again. I want. It's only 14 chapters, so it's once I start, it shouldn't take me more than a month to finish it. After I'll do it, until I either memorize it or until I feel good about it. So yeah, it just sucks that humans don't know how to keep precious old stuff intact because they're stupid. Namaste. Have a good day. I'm gonna chant next.